Thanks for watching Money on Main Street. It's now time for our one-on-one conversation with our featured CEO of the week. This week we have Jan ten Haagen, the president and CEO of ten Haagen Financial Group in Huntington. Ten Haagen is a member of the Financial Planning Association. He's been consulted on for several publications, and he's a certified financial planner. Glad to have you with us today, Jan.
Thank you.
All right, so today we want to talk about divorce. Now, I was reading up, and Entrepreneur.com had a very interesting statistic. They were quoting the National Marriage Project at the University of Virginia, which said that 40 to 50% of first-time marriages end in divorce. And for second marriages, the number is higher. So we thought this was an important discussion to have if someone out there is thinking about divorce in terms of finances. If that's the case, what do they need to think about or worry about?
Well, they've got to find out, do they want to go to a divorce attorney, or do you want to go to a mediator? A mediator is less expensive. And then you've got to get all the transparency you can for all of your assets. So you've got to dig into everything on both sides.
Like what? Give me a laundry list.
Bank accounts, insurance policies, those kind of categories.
Let's say I'm a woman and a lot of this stuff is in my husband's name. At that point, what do I do?
Did it come to the marriage outside? The money come from outside the marriage, or was it attained during the marriage? Because if it's during, then it's going to be split in most cases, in New York anyway.
Now, in many cases, people say that one of the reasons why they choose not to get divorced is because of the money situation. If I think that this is the eventual road, what should I be doing to prepare? What can I do?
Well, there are an awful lot of people that do that. I know personally some people that aren't getting a divorce because they can't afford it, or they don't want to give up that big house on the block that they have now and end up in an apartment or something. There's an ego piece to it.
So what can I do?
Start finding out what is it going to cost me to live elsewhere, all the way across, utilities, insurances, etc., and see if I can afford to. Maybe I can't.
Carol Tice was contributing to Entrepreneur.com. Now, as far as strategy, she was saying that you want to sacrifice other assets, maybe retirement accounts, homes, etc., and retain most of the ownership of the business.
That's very possible. In fact, I had a situation a number of years ago where this couple had fought for 4 years, $500,000 to the lawyers, and still hadn't settled anything because they both wanted the business. And I sat them down with another attorney and figured out, okay, what is it you really want bottom line? You don't need the company because you're the one that did most of the work, so start a new one if you want to, but you want assets and comfortableness, so you get the house and bank accounts, retirement accounts, etc.
But what if I do think there's a future with the company and I do want the company because I put a lot of energy, effort, and time and money into it?
And maybe there should have been a buyout clause as to how one can take the other one out.
Okay, so you're talking about buy-sell agreements.
Yes.
For people who aren't aware, what are these?
Buy-sell agreement just says that if you want to buy me out, this is what it's going to cost you, and vice versa.
Okay, but what if I didn't come up with this buy-sell agreement early on and now I see that divorce is in the future? What can I do at that point?
There's not a whole lot you can do. Just fight it out in the courts, I guess.
One suggestion that Tice was talking about was possibly placing the business in a trust. How does that work?
If you put it in a trust, then what's the benefit to these people other than it's owned by the trust rather than individually? And I guess they can take their piece out if and when the time comes.
Okay, in our final seconds, 1, 2, 3, I need to do what?
Find out what all the assets are. Do I really want to get divorced? And what's the least expensive way to do it to get to the bottom line?
And my goal is?
To be happy and be free and not have all these headaches anymore and spend all the money on attorneys.
All right. Thank you so much.